Hi, my name is Alex and welcome to episode 2 of English Rewind. I've been studying Japanese for a while now, and it's always interesting how that sometimes when people speak in Japanese, I understand every word they use and I even understand the grammar they use, but despite this, what they say still doesn't seem to make sense to my mind. It's like I'm unable to see the big picture. It's like I'm unable to really understand what they're trying to say. Now, why is this? I think the problem is that when we learn new languages, we focus too much on trying to learn as much as possible, and we quickly forget that as children, when we started learning our first language, it didn't work that way. We learned slowly, learning how to use basic things and use them not only correctly, but being able to use them in many different ways. And so when a person learns a new language, I feel it's important that instead of just trying to learn as many words and rules as possible, we should focus on being able to use the basic things and use them effectively. Now, the thing about this is, the only way you can really learn to use a language correctly is by listening to other people use it. And that's why, once again, I'm making this podcast. I feel that one of the things that really helps in learning a new language is listening to other people use the language in a very basic, easy to understand form. And once you become used to that type of English or that type of language usage, then you can start listening to more complicated things. But trying to understand complex grammar and complex ideas before having really learned how to use the basics is like a child who tries to run before he walks, or a child who tries to walk before he crawls. And in language, we have those same phases, we have those same steps. We first learn to crawl, then to walk, and then to run. So, as a person learning English, I want to encourage you, don't worry about being able to use or even understanding all the complex things out there. Even as a native speaker, I always find things I don't really understand. Languages are huge. Languages are filled with unknowns. Languages are filled with things that you never have heard about. You'll never be able to know everything. Build a good foundation. It's like a building. A strong building needs a good foundation. And languages are no different. I want to encourage you. You can learn vocabulary and you can learn grammar rules, but learn to understand how they are used. And the way you do this is by listening to other native speakers use those words and grammar structures. The other day, someone came to me and asked me to look at something they had written in English. What he wrote obviously had quite a few mistakes, but the reason it had so many mistakes was because the person was trying to use complicated words. He didn't really understand the nuance of these words, and because of this, what he wrote felt unnatural. If he had instead used simple words, he would have been able to say what he wanted to say just as well, and perhaps even better. This is it for episode 2 of English Rewind. Please remember to have a look at the PDF transcript where everything has been written down. Until next time, cheers!